No pressure. It's a good guy. Raj from
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachar Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna
So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for being with us today. So, we have a very, very special guest with us today. His only next Bhakti Prachar Pravivraja Swami Maharaj. Very short bio. Maharaj studied commerce from Xavier College, a very famous college from Kolkata. And later, Maharaj became a chartered accountant. And after that, in 1994, Maharaj came in touch with devotees, Krishna consciousness, and in 1996, Maharaj fully dedicated his life to the mission of Srila Prabhupada. He served in various senior roles in Mayapur, quite high roles, vice chairman, etc. There's a big list, but I'll keep it short. Various leadership roles. And Maharaj is a traveling preacher internationally. And so he had developed several preaching programs to attract students from IITs, etc. So we are very, very fortunate to have his association today and tomorrow. Maharaj will be here tomorrow as well. And so Maharaj will be summarizing chapters of Gita when we are conducting Gita Jayanti ceremony. Let's welcome Maharaj by chanting one loud Hare Krishna mantra.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So we'll sing the Radha Madhava. After that, we'll discuss today's topic. Hope you all know the topic. Hare Krishna. Off and on. Mic is very sensitive. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य सत्र सत्र श्रीमद अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की ISKCON यूनिफॉर्म आचार्य डिवाइन ग्रेस प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य सत्र सत्र श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्री श्री राधा माधव की श्री गौर निताय की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की निताय गौ प्रमानंदे all glory to the assembly bodies, all glory to the assembly bodies, all glory to the assembly bodies, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Nitantam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Dalita Shri Vishakhanitanscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Veshakarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishye Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Ananda Radha Ananda Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishamanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Pangupam Karadivachalam Panghulanghayate Giring Jatkripatamaham Bande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. It's okay now? Stable? Hare Krishna. Sound is okay? It's up to her. A small room, no problem. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome everyone for the Saturday evening spiritual gathering. Hope you are all very happy and blissful in your Krishna conscious journey. So today's topic is anxiety. Not really anxiety, how to be free from anxiety. Just going off and on the mic. Mic is in anxiety. Okay. So anxiety and experience of Krishna consciousness cannot go together. So we are not able to experience the joy of life because of the problem, a big problem in our mind, that is anxiety. So anxiety has to be there, but anxiety should be spiritual anxiety. So that we'll discuss later on. But when you talk about anxiety, this is called material anxiety. So what is material and what is spiritual? When the anxiety is connected with me and mine and related to people related to I and mine, that is called material anxiety. And when anxiety is connected with Krishna and Krishna consciousness, that is spiritual anxiety. So hope it is clear that we are talking about material anxiety. So why we are in anxiety? The students, they are in anxiety. And they become very, very anxious before the exam. Why? Why they are in anxiety? Because they don't know the question paper. If they before the exam they get the question paper, they'll be in anxiety. They'll celebrate when the exam day. Because they know. Because we don't know, that's why we are in anxiety. So why we cannot know and why we cannot see things? Because we are not in knowledge, we are in ignorance. So what is the meaning of ignorance? Ignorance means not knowing our identity. That is the main ignorance. And Prabhupada used to tell this as bodily concept of life. We think we are these bodies. And Prabhupada in the early days of ISKCON in America used to say, I am not this body, I am not this body. And young boys and girls used to think, maybe this old man is not the body, but we are these bodies only. So they used to think, if we are not this body, who are we? Very difficult to relate. But Prabhupada writes not only that we are not this body, we are not this mind. And one very senior devotee of our movement told me, when he read that in Prabhupada's books, that we are not this mind, I am not this mind, he became Krishna conscious. Because mind is the main problem, right? And mind gives the anxiety. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada used to say, nobody can give you distress except the mind. We blame so many people, so many things, and try to justify because of that we are not happy. But if blame has to be there, then blame should go to mind. Mind is the problem. So anxiety comes because we act at the platform of being controller. That is the cause of anxiety. Because we want to control the results. We like to control them. But we cannot do that. Arjuna was in anxiety. And he was thinking whether to fight or not to fight. And he was analyzing that if I become victorious, but there will not be anybody to celebrate my victory. And if I lose, I will be killed. And he was in anxiety. Right? So why he was in anxiety? Because he was thinking about himself. That is called mode of passion. There are different levels of motivation to do our work. It depends on the modes of material nature. If someone is influenced by mode of ignorance, motivation to work is fear. They work why? They have fear. Students, they don't like to study, but they go to the school out of fear because of the parents, or maybe they have the fear to fail in the exams. So due to fear, they work. So fear is the motivation. Even we come to the spirituality also out of fear. There are two friends, one was atheist, one was a devotee. So devotee friend went to the house of the atheist friend, and he saw he has an altar like this, and he does puja every day. And devotee friend asked him, "Are you always tell that you are an atheist, but you do puja every day. You have altar in your house. How come you are an atheist?" He said, "I am atheist. I am not telling you lies." "And why do you do that?" He said, "I have a fear." What is the fear? In case God is there, so why not do some arati and make him happy? In case he is there. So this is called activity influenced by mode of ignorance. If someone is influenced by mode of passion, what is the motivation? Material profit. Most of the people are in this category in this world. What I will get. That's why when you tell them you should chant the holy name of the Lord, and immediately answer or question will be that what I will get. Right? So one person got a job, but he was working so hard, but he was not getting promotion. And one devotee told him, if you chant the holy name, your desires will be fulfilled. So on that basis, he started chanting 16 rounds. And after maybe after 3 months, he got promoted. He got promoted in the job. And if he was very much convinced that holy name works. And he was analyzing that I was chanting 16 rounds, that's why I got promotion. If I chant 32 rounds, then I can get double promotion. And with that expectation, he started chanting 32 rounds. And after a few months, he lost the job. So I was giving this analysis and this example. Then somebody asked him what he should do now to get the job back.
16
So one Mataji told that you should chant 64 rounds. So this is called the material profit. And most of the people, those who do bhakti in this world, are in this category. They do bhakti, but they expect something material from the devotional service. This is known as sakama bhakti. They are doing bhakti, but they want material profit. It's mode of passion. Then mode of goodness. What is the motivation? Motivation is sense of duty. So this is very, very important platform. The person who comes to the mode of goodness is eligible to enter into Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita begins with Niskam Karma Yoga. So Krishna told Arjuna that you should fight. Arjuna was not willing to fight because he was thinking there is no benefit from fight. That is the platform of mode of passion. Then Krishna told that you should fight because you are a fighter, you are a Kshatriya, you are a king. It is your duty to fight. And why Arjuna was in anxiety? Because he was thinking about the results. That's why he is in anxiety. And what was the anxiety? Whether he will be victorious or whether he will be loser. Right? And because of that, he was in anxiety. So anxiety comes from attachment for the results of work. So Krishna told him that results are not in your hand. So I am the controller of the results. But you should act based on the platform of detachment. Detachment from the results. So that is called mode of goodness. And why people think then, if there is no result, then why you should work? Most of the people ask this question. Because most of the people in this world are influenced by mode of passion. But when someone upgrades his modes from mode of passion to mode of goodness, then he will not think about the result. So mother is taking care of the child, supposed to be taking care of the child without any expectations. Right? That is a symptom of mode of goodness. So Arjuna was advised to fight because he was a fighter. The student should study because that's his or her duty. The professional should work in the office because that is his or her duty. So in that way, we have to situate ourselves at the mode of goodness. And then our spiritual journey begins. And when we situate ourselves in the mode of goodness, then no anxiety. Clear? So now we'll analyze more. Then if someone comes to the transcendental platform, beyond mode of goodness, then what is the motivation? Love. So Arjuna fought the battle of Kurukshetra not because he was a Kshatriya. He fought the battle of Kurukshetra because he wanted to please Krishna. That is called spiritual platform. That is called transcendental platform. That is called beyond three modes platform. And inspiration was love. So that platform is not part of the material world, that is part of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, every activity is done by what? Done for the pleasure of beloved. So Krishna's activities are known as Leela. Right? You are familiar with the word Leela?
Yes.
But when we perform our activities, that do not become Leela, right? it becomes karma. But Krishna's activities are known as Leela. Why? When Krishna performs his activities, he does not expect anything personal from this activity. He has no expectations. Why he does not have any expectation? Because he has everything. He does not lack anything. That's why he does not expect anything from any activity he performs. Then what is the motivation for his activity?
To set an example.
To please the devotees. Krishna does every activity for the pleasure of his devotees. Krishna does not follow four regulative principles. Krishna follows only one regulative principle. What is that regulative principle? Pleasing his devotees. That is the regulative principle. Then who is eligible to take part in the Leela of the Lord? Who performs his activities only for the purpose of pleasing the Lord. So when we perform devotional activities, when we perform devotional services, what should be the motivation to become part of Krishna's pastime? The purpose should be to please Krishna. And that is the perfection of our life. So coming to the point of anxiety, so anxiety comes from uncertainty. Uncertainty in results. And why there is uncertainty in the results? Because we are not the controllers. Right? But we want to be the controllers. In a gross way or in a subtle way. The husband is thinking, I am in control. Wife is thinking, I am in the control. Children are thinking they are in control. But none of them are in control. Right? So, but we want to be in control. And because of that, what we get? A great gift. Free gift from Krishna, anxiety. So two free gifts are available for everyone in this world. In Sanskrit it is called Chinta and Chita. Chinta means anxiety. Chita means funeral pyre. Chinta and Chita. Free gifts. And both have common services. They are very merciful. And what services they perform? Burn. Very good. So, funeral pyre or Chita burns the dead body. For how many times? Once. Chinta burns the living body. How many times? All the time. Which one is better? Common answer is Chita. That's why people become frustrated in this world and they think it's very difficult to live. Better to die. And they want to commit suicide. Right? Very difficult. Very difficult. I was giving a lecture in Australia. I told that in Satya Yuga, people used to live for 100,000 years. And Treta Yuga, 10,000 years. Dwapar Yuga, 1,000 years. And Kali Yuga, 100 years. And one new gentleman came in my class. He was so happy to hear that. Only 100 years. My God, I don't have to live for 100,000 years. Because living 100 years is so difficult in Kali Yuga, right? They have to commit suicide for simple things. One boy, one student in IIT Mumbai, in his last semester, he wanted to commit suicide. Why? Because he became number 2 in that semester. In his life, he never became number 2. And he was in so much anxiety. he wanted to commit suicide. Wanted. Why? He could not commit suicide. He attempted, but because of Kali Yuga, he could not commit suicide also. Because committing suicide is also very difficult. He wanted to hang from the ceiling fan with a rope, and rope broke. That's why he could not die. So taking birth is also difficult, dying is also difficult, and living in the body is also difficult. Everything is very difficult. Right or wrong? Nowadays nobody wants to give birth. Right? By chance somebody is born. Very difficult to take birth. And dying also difficult. Very difficult to die. Even in the hospital, people will not allow you to die. More days they have to keep them alive with artificial things. And when you have to commit suicide, also very difficult. By hearing this, that he could not commit suicide by hanging from the ceiling fan. I see always the ceiling fan, there is no ceiling fan here. And from that incident, the professors of IIT Mumbai, they had a meeting. And they analyzed why. What was the cause of the suicide? And they thought this is ceiling fan. And they removed all the ceiling fans. And made all the rooms air conditioned, and after that suicide rate increased. So they are not able to understand the cause of the suicide. Cause of suicide is not ceiling fan. Cause of suicide is anxiety. Anxiety. But this is also very relative. Why was it anxiety? Because of the social pressure. He thought that how can I show my face? I never become number 2 in my life. Now I become number 2. But there are students in IIT Mumbai, they are happily moving around, failing in all subjects. They are happy. But this man, this boy, this student was in anxiety because he became number 2. Right? So anxiety comes from unreasonable expectations. Very high level of unreasonable expectations we live in nowadays. Without understanding the reality, we have high expectations. In India, at least, the boy is thinking that my wife should be with all divine qualities. And they have a checklist. Like Sita Devi. All divine qualities. My would-be wife should possess. But he forgets that he is not Lord Ram. He is Ravana. The expectation is very high. And the girl is also thinking that my husband will be with all divine qualities like Lord Ram. But she forgets she is not Mother Sita. She is Surpanakha. But expectation is very high. So this kind of expectations, what is the result? High level of anxiety. Right or wrong?
Yes.
But the root is, we are thinking we are the controllers. So when it is philosophically, it's very simple, but very difficult to practice. How we can be free from anxiety? The moment we hand over the control of our lives to Krishna, immediately we have anxiety-free life. There is no anxiety. So why you are in anxiety? Because we think we are the controllers. It's very difficult to accept Krishna as the controller. It's nice to say philosophically that Krishna is the controller, but we want to keep our control also in our lives. And what is the result? So Pandavas were fighting the battle. And battle was Kurukshetra battle. What a terrible battle, right? And when you go every morning to fight, you never know you'll come back or not. But the Pandavas, during daytime, they used to fight, and night time, they used to have party. No anxiety. And Duryodhana was in anxiety. Why? Because he thought that grandfather Bhishma was not fighting properly. And he was in anxiety that Bhishma will not kill the Pandavas. And he used to insult grandfather Bhishma. One day, Bhishma became very angry. And he took a vow that tomorrow I will kill all the Pandavas. And that news came to Krishna. That Bhishma took a vow to kill the Pandavas. And vow of Bhishma is not going to change. And Krishna was in anxiety. So with that message, with that news, he went to the camp of the Pandavas, evening time. So when Pandavas saw Krishna in the camp, they welcomed him. But Krishna was in anxiety. And Krishna asked Pandavas, did you hear the news today? The breaking news of today? What was the breaking news? You are the source of all breaking news. Please tell us. That grandfather Bhishma took a vow to kill all of you tomorrow. Then what was the response of the Pandavas? They thanked the Lord. Thank you very much for the wonderful breaking news. Till today, we are not sure whether we will come back or not for the battlefield. But tomorrow, it is very clear that we will not come back. Thank you for the news. And it's a glorious news because we will be killed by Vishnu Pita. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. No anxiety. And by seeing their condition, Krishna was in more anxiety. So this is the science of anxiety-free life. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says in a very simple way, in Bengali song, he says, Rakho bhi, maro bhi, jo ichha tumhara. This is the essence of anxiety-free life. My dear Lord, whether you keep me alive or you kill me, I have no problem. That's your desire. So who can think like that? Who knows? Krishna is the well-wisher. Whatever he does to me or us is good for us. Krishna knows what is good for us. We don't know what is good for us. But sometimes we think we know better than Krishna. That's why we always have our own plan. I say plan A, plan B. Krishna has a plan A. But we don't have faith in Krishna's plan A. We always have our backup plan because we're very intelligent. Krishna told that I'll protect the devotees. He declared through Arjuna. But we think Krishna might have forgotten also. He spoke 5,000 years ago. So better to have a backup plan. In management we do like that, no? If this doesn't work, another plan. If this does not work, another plan. That is the management principle. But if you apply this management principle, then you cannot have anxiety-free life. If you have your plan B or plan C, then Krishna's plan A will not work. Because Krishna will say, oh, you have your own plan, you take care of your life. I have an anxiety. So you have your anxiety. So now we have to choose who should be the controller of our lives. That is a decision. That is a choice you have to make. Krishna told, if you surrender unto me, then I will take all the anxiety. Sarva dharman paritejya mamekam saranam braja aham tvam sarva papebhya mokshasami ma suchaha. No anxiety. Dear Arjuna, don't have any anxiety. What you have to do for that? Surrender unto me. Not 5%, 10%, 50%, complete surrender. If we want freedom from anxiety completely, then we have to surrender to Krishna completely. Degree of surrender determines degree of anxiety-free life. This is a science. We are having anxiety, that is a proof that we are not surrendered to the Lord. What is the symptom of surrender? People ask whether we are surrendered or not surrendered, how to know? If you are having anxiety, then you are not fully surrendered. And if you don't have any anxiety, means you are fully surrendered. Pandavas were at the level of full surrender. And people think, oh, that happened in Dapur Juga. Some devotees perform the same thing in Trita Juga. Something happened in Satya Juga. In Kali Juga, it's not possible. It should be practical. So this is also possible in Kali Juga. Right? Possible or not? Possible? What do you think? So some devotees of disciples of Prabhupada got arrested. And they are sent into jail. Okay. And what crime they did? They are distributing books and doing Harinam on the street. That was a crime. And news went to the other devotees, those who are outside of the jail, they are in anxiety. And they sent a letter to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada wrote them back. And what was the message? That we should take them out of the jail, but to take them out of the jail will cost a lot of money. So Prabhupada said, why to spend so much money? Let them be in the jail. What a spiritual master. So he communicated that let them in the jail. And what they are doing outside the jail, they should do the same thing inside the jail. Guru Mukha Palma Bhakti. So they started morning programs, they started preaching Krishna Consciousness in the jail. And jail super started thinking these people are dangerous outside, but they are more dangerous inside. So what they did, what he did, they did. Really. So this is a real life story. It's not a example, it's history. It happened. So it happened, it's happening, and it's going to happen. It's eternal principle. It's not time, place, circumstances. What was working in Satya Yuga is not going to work now. It's not like that. Same principle works. But quality of our surrender is not that remarkable in Kali Yuga. That's why, in spite of becoming deep, in spite that we are in devotional service, still we are in anxiety. Even devotees ask, what will happen? What will happen, Maharaj? What will happen, Prabhu? And they read every day in Bhagavad Gita, Jatasya Durvam Mityur, Durvam Janma Mitasya. What is going to happen? Those who have taken birth, what is going to happen? They are going to die. That's going to happen. But people are in confusion. What is going to happen? What is going to happen? And after we are dead, what is going to happen? We will take birth. That's going to happen. But still anxiety. Why? Because we are not confident what's going to happen. Then people ask, that's okay. We took birth, we are going to die. What's going to happen in between? Anxiety. That's going to happen. So we are dying at every moment. That's why in Bengal there is a proverb that they don't find happiness and peace in their lives. And out of frustration they say, where is happiness available and where is peace available? And they say that we can find happiness in the dream. And they can find peace in the crematorium. Because they don't find. Why? Because they don't know the root cause of our anxiety. So we have to lead a life depending on Krishna. It's not a theory. We have to practice this. Spiritual life is a life of practice, not theory. So we can lead an anxiety-free life when we are fully surrendered. Difficulties will be there. But we have a problem in understanding Krishna consciousness. We think if we become Krishna conscious, there will not be any problem. That is the main problem. What Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavatam, when I become very pleased with a devotee, it's very dangerous. What Krishna does? He takes away all material possessions and makes sure he is harassed by his own dear and near ones. Means he will make your life miserable. That is the loving reciprocation of the loving Supreme Personality of Godhead. If anybody hears newcomers, they will never come to Krishna. They will never come to Krishna. So for them we should not pronounce this word. We should tell the word Sarvadharman. Dame Bhakta Pranasati. These are the words that we should pronounce. But those who are practicing devotee, they should know how Krishna acts. Because Bhagavad Gita is the advice or words of Krishna. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam are the activities of Krishna. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is the mind of Krishna. So more we become advanced, we should know the deeper aspect of Krishna consciousness. But now we are focusing on Bhagavad Gita's lesson. But we are trying to analyze it from Srimad Bhagavatam also, because we are practicing Krishna consciousness. We should know the deeper principle to really become free from anxiety. By having some lifestyle tips, we cannot be anxiety free. It can work for some time, but it is called superficial solution. So if you really want to solve the problem, we have to go to the root. The root is lack of confidence in Krishna's protection, lack of confidence in Krishna's maintenance, lack of confidence in Krishna's words, lack of confidence in Krishna's promises. That's why you are in anxiety. But Krishna protects the devotees if we surrender. And he does not speak only, he demonstrates how devotees respond in difficulties. So it is said, if someone is fully surrendered, then he will become anxiety free. No anxiety. But still you will have some material desire, subtle material desires. Fully surrendered does not mean he is a pure devotee. But fully surrendered means he will be anxiety free devotee. But there are subtle impurities. But Krishna wants to purify that subtle impurities also. And how does he do that? By giving the devotee difficulties. Because comforts attract anarthas, impurities. And when you are in a difficult situation, we become purified. Difficulty purifies. Comforts attract impurities. So Krishna wants to make the pure devotee completely pure. That's why what he gives? Difficulty. Then after they become completely pure, then what he will do? He will give more difficulties to intensify his love. He wants to see that love of the pure devotees becomes very, very intense. And after that, what he does? He gives more difficulties to preach Krishna consciousness, to show the whole world, see how my devotees act in difficult situation. If you want to know the character of a person, how to know the character of a person? When he is put into difficulty. Character is tested in difficult situations. And so-called great people in this world, they fail in difficult situations. Because they don't have character. So character is very, very important. And how to define good character? When you depend on Krishna, that is the root of all the good qualities of a devotee or a person practicing spiritual life. So acceptance leads to divine qualities. When we accept Krishna's hand in our life, we welcome Krishna's interference in our life, then all divine qualities will manifest. But we don't allow Krishna's interference in our life. Why we like Krishna so much on the deity form? Because he does not interfere. Why do you like the previous acharyas who we love so much? Why? They don't interfere. We love Prabhupada also. Why? Because he's sitting on the Vasashram. Does not interfere. And we also like spiritual master for some time, as long as he does not interfere. Once my spiritual master was leaving, and devotee said, "Oh, Guru Maharaj, please stay some more time." He said, "No, I want to leave before you want me to leave." Because if they stay longer, then they may start interfering in life. So we don't like interference, especially in Kali Yuga. Right? And because of that, we cannot experience anxiety-free life. So we have to allow Krishna. And Krishna will not interfere unless you allow him. Because Krishna is very gentle and sober person. He doesn't like to interfere in anyone's independence. Right? But when we voluntarily allow Krishna's interference in our life, that is the real beginning of our spiritual journey. That is called surrender. We talk about surrender, 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 but real surrender means accepting Krishna's control in our life. So it works. In material life also it works. Why the child are so happy and anxiety free? Because he or she has confidence in the parents. But when they grow, confidence reduces and they enter into life of anxiety. Right? So I don't know you heard this story or not. It's a real life story. One girl was traveling in a flight and the flight was going through turbulence. And the announcement was made and everybody was in anxiety. That is the problem in traveling in a flight, right? In train or other, you can get out. But in flight you cannot do that. So what you can do? Anxiety. Everybody was in anxiety, but one small girl was sitting and she was cool. No anxiety. She was playing video games and she had no anxiety. And somehow the plane landed. And that man who was sitting next to that girl was not in anxiety, but he was curious that everyone in the flight was in anxiety. But this girl, small girl, was not in anxiety. He asked, what exactly happened? He said, it's very simple. Why it is simple? Because the pilot is my father. So why I should have anxiety? He should have anxiety. Her father was the pilot of the flight. So it applies to all of us. We are also in the journey. Now we have to choose who is the pilot. While you choose the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as the pilot of our life, then there will not be any anxiety. But if we don't accept that, then what will happen? We will have anxiety. So to summarize, so what is the cause of anxiety?
Thinking we are the controllers.
Uncertainty. So why we have uncertainty? Because we think we are the controllers and not accepting Krishna as the supreme controller. Then how we can be anxiety free?
Giving control back to them.
Give the control of our lives to Krishna. What does that mean?
Surrender.
We are not attached to the results of our activity. We are not attached. Attachment. So, when we lead a life like this, then we can experience the joy of Krishna consciousness. Because anxiety and joy of Krishna consciousness cannot exist together in the heart. If we want to experience joy, then anxiety has to disappear. And how anxiety will disappear? When we accept Krishna's control in our life. This is the secret to be anxiety free. How many of you want anxiety? How many of you want to be anxiety free? Okay. But our Krishna consciousness movement is a movement of anxiety. Mahaprabhu says, I am in anxiety. What is anxiety? That I am the only gardener and so many fruits. How can I distribute so many fruits? And I am in doubt, some may get, some may not get. Anxiety. So our whole Guru Parampara is in anxiety. Because they want to see everyone becomes Krishna conscious. So this anxiety is known as spiritual anxiety. Material anxiety gives frustration. Spiritual anxiety gives bliss. The Brajavasis are in the topmost anxiety. Before Krishna appeared, they are having very happy life. Right? They are very happy. As soon as Krishna appeared in Gokul, problem started. Anxiety after anxiety, anxiety after anxiety. Vrindavan. We are discussing about anxiety-free life, and the abode of Krishna is full of anxiety. But that anxiety is not material anxiety. That anxiety is spiritual anxiety. Why is spiritual anxiety? Because it is connected with Krishna. They are thinking what will happen to Krishna. They are not thinking about themselves. But in this world, we are always thinking about ourselves. That is material anxiety. So why the spiritual leaders or pure devotees are in anxiety? Because they want to see others having anxiety-free life. They want to see everyone happy. So why you are not happy in this world? Why? Because you want to be happy. That's why you cannot be happy. Because we are selfish. So how we can become happy? When we want to make others happy. Lord Ramchandra was a very famous king. Very popular king. Very, very popular. Why? He did so many wonderful things, but he used to do a very wonderful thing. if some joyful event happens in a family, he used to go and celebrate that joy with the family members. And if there is some sad incident happens, he used to go and cry with them. So Lord Ramchandra was with the happiness and distress of his citizens. That's why Lord Ramchandra was very, very popular. So Vaishnava becomes very happy when he sees others happy. And he feels very much miserable and in anxiety when he sees others are suffering because of anxiety. That's why Krishna and his peer representatives take a lot of anxiety to make the whole world anxiety free. And that's the way Krishna acted, and that's the way his representatives act in anxiety, because that is the platform of compassion. So spiritual anxiety is the expression of compassion. And we should become the instrument of that compassion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by taking anxiety to spread this message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world, so that everybody will become happy in Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Some questions?
Yeah, so this is good time. I think we left quite a bit of time for question and answer. Maharaj delivered a very wonderful lecture. So very to the point, no deviation at all, and very enlightening. One of the best class I've heard. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Really, really appreciate it. So I encourage. Prasadam won't be ready until 7:30.
Oh, really?
Just now I came to know.
Don't give them anxiety.
After hearing your class, they became anxiety free now by taking shelter of Krishna. So your anxiety is to ask a question now. Everyone should ask one question. So let's, please ask. Yes, my wife is always having something to ask. And
She gives you anxiety by asking.
Hopefully not this time.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for this topic. Just I'm thinking, and Arjuna was in anxiety. Chapter 11, Krishna shows the uniform, and then he shows all the Kauravas are entering into the mouth of the blazing fire. Had it been the other way around, had Krishna shown him, you are entering into this, would he be?
What?
Had Arjuna seen that Eve was entering into the mouth of Krishna, if he were entering into the mouth of Krishna, would he be happy?
Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tomara. So, but it's easy to see, if something problem is getting to get over, or the enemies are dying, you can become anxiety free. But how do we accept the negative outcome as well and stay anxiety free?
So you are telling that if problem is solved, then we can become anxiety free.
Generally.
But the problem is that problem is never solved. We think that this problem will be solved, then I'll be very happy. Happily doing Krishna consciousness. But the problem is that if one problem is solved, another problem will quickly follow. And it will be a bigger problem. So therefore, we should not focus on the problem. We should focus on the goal of life and deal with the problems. But the problem nowadays, we don't have goal in life. And what is the goal? Solving problems.
Exactly.
Because you don't have goal, that's why our goal has become solving problems. But solving problem is not the goal of life. Right or wrong?
Right.
But the problem is that you don't have goal. You have to have goal. And when you act on the goal, then this kind of things will not disturb us. So it's another topic, but still. So we think like that, oh, this problem it is solved, it will be so nice. It cannot be nice in this world. Nothing is nice in this world. Only dream. Nice dreams. Okay?
Thank you.
Sundar Chaitanya. And then that Mataji. Yeah, you do it. Yeah.
I can talk. I'm
For the
loud.
people watching at home.
Hi. Namaste. My name is Leena, and my question is, which I always feel like this, that does anxiety means lack of confidence? That means when we take any task in the hand, until we complete that task, we feel anxiety. So sometimes I feel just it's like, is this anxiety is lack of confidence, or this is anxiety, or what it is? So what do you
Yeah, lack of confidence also gives anxiety. So, lack of confidence in what?
that the task whether we will able to complete,
You are feeling that you are not competent enough.
whether I have done enough. So say for example, I'm doing a big event in coming future in from 9th of January till 27th of February at Manchester Cathedral, and this event is my dream, and which was like my dream since so many years that I wanted to do this. Now the time has come and I'm doing this, but until it happens, I'm feeling on today's day bit anxiety that how this will going to happen, whether it will fail or what will happen, I don't know. Things are happening, like if they are on the place, it's happening properly, as in like every day. But until it happens, I'm just feeling whether what will going to happen. So I'm feeling like whether have I given enough or not, or what is this like? I'm feeling like I'm Arjun, full confused, as a not confused, but like what will happen, as a fear, some kind of anxiety.
Yeah, I already, when you came to the class today, I started the class with that concept, right? Why Arjuna was in anxiety? Because he was thinking about the result.
Yeah.
So there are three things: what to do, how to do, why to do. Right? So when we are focusing only on what to do, how to do, there will be anxiety. But when you know why you are doing it, when why is very pure, then your anxiety also will be pure. But most of the time, we don't know why you are doing, but mostly people do for their own selfish motives. So purpose has to be pure. Arjuna refused to fight and he was in anxiety. Why? Because he was thinking about himself, what he will get out of the war. But after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he completely changed the paradigm of his thoughts. He wanted to fight for the pleasure of the Lord. So that is called purity of the purpose. So more our purpose becomes pure, more will become anxiety free. That is the lesson we learn from our life. So we have to, problem we have, we don't know the purpose of our activities. Why you are doing it? Because you are too much focused. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about in general. That people are focused what to do and how to do. That is exactly happening in the world. But they are not at all interested or focused why we are doing it. And when we are focused in why, then quality will be really high. Okay. Next question.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. You said that we should, if we make a plan A, then a plan B, and a plan C. Planning, having multiple plans, seems to be incompatible with surrender to Krishna. So I wanted to clarify that, because of course we see that Srila Prabhupada made extensive plans, we see that devotees extensively plan, but you're saying that Krishna should take the wheel, Krishna should take charge. That is, surrender is when Krishna is taking charge. But at the same time we have to plan. So these two things feel like contradictory, so I'm trying to just reconcile how we can do both.
Yeah, it is contradictory and at the same time not contradictory. So you have to plan, but you have to know Krishna's plan is the plan.
Then why do we
And success will come when Krishna's plan will become your plan. And pure devotee has no separate plan. Krishna's plan is their plan. You understand? There has to be plan. There is a common saying now, if you fail to plan, you are planning for failure. So plan has to be there. But why you are planning and what platform you are planning? You can plan, but you have to know and pray to the Lord that, my dear Lord, hopefully this is your plan. Your plan is my plan. Please make me instrument in your life so that your plan becomes my plan.
How do we know if our plan is Krishna's plan?
When you will be fully surrendered, then Krishna's plan will be your plan. Otherwise, we will have our own plan. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Your contradiction.
Uncontradicted.
Maharaj, when we do action, when we dedicate the action to Krishna, we get result, either positive or negative. Some result we get. So how to achieve this karma for the tyaga? Mentally, how to achieve the karma for the tyaga? We get a result. Basing on the past karma, either positive or negative, some result come. How to achieve the mentally? Mentally, what should be our state of mind for karma for the tyaga?
Karma phala tyaga. Okay. First, you have to know there are two aspects, karma and karma phala. Actions and results of action. In this world, most of the people are attached in both. They are attached to action and they are also attached to results of action. So first step is we have to be free from the attachment of result of action. That is known as Niskam Karma Yoga. Okay? Then when we act on the platform of Niskam Karma Yoga, then slowly we'll become detached from the karma also. Then we'll come to the platform of Jnana. Then when we mature in Jnana, then we come to the platform of Bhakti. So in Bhakti, we are not attached to karma and also we are not attached to the result.
Yeah.
Whatever we do is for the pleasure of the Lord. That is called the perfection. But detachment leads to divine qualities. So devotee is detached both from karma and also from the result of karma. They give their heart and put everything for Krishna's pleasure, but they are not attached to the result. Sometimes they become externally victorious. Sometimes they become loser externally also. Just like Jatayu, the bird. Externally he failed. Right? Ravana became victorious. But we don't celebrate Ravana, we celebrate Jatayu. Why? Because Jatayu fought for Lord Ram. That is the glory. Purpose. Result is not important. Purpose is important. Prabhupada used to say, you should serve for Krishna. Whether you become victorious or not victorious, that's not so important. We have to serve for the Lord. That is the success. When we please the Lord, that is the success. And if you have achieved so much, but if Krishna is not pleased, what is the use of that result? Right? Krishna's pleasure is the perfection. And our life should be dedicated for that. Is that okay?
Yeah. Thanks.
Any other question? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for your class. It was very practical, but I have to say I think it's left me with more anxiety than I came into the room with.
I'm really sorry for that.
It's because it's made me realize.
Spiritual answer.
Yeah, it's made me realize how much of my life I need to change. And part of that is, I know if I hold up my end of the bargain, Krishna will always reciprocate, but I'm very pain averse. So if there's ever any discomfort, I have this habit to just run towards whatever is comfortable. And I was reflecting on Radha Maharaj's life when he was going through Europe and the Middle East. He always had the choice to go back home, but for some reason, something kept him in the discomfort and the terror of maybe death. And I can't understand what pushes someone through discomfort.
So it's very simple. So when your goal is clear, you have to fix your goal of life. The quality of life depends on the goal of life. So when Krishna's goal is your goal, when your goal is spiritual goal, then your life will become glorious. And when you act on the goal, which is for the welfare of the whole society, not your own goal, what will happen? Your life will be life of difficulties. But why? Because that is a symptom of love. Symptom of love is taking pain for the beloved. Just like mother takes so much pain to take care of the child. This is the expression of love. So Krishna shows through these exemplary personalities what is the meaning of love. Because we casually use the word, "No, I love you." But love in this world is defined as what I'll get out of it. What is the symptom of love in this world? Get, and then forget. And what is the real symptom of real love? Give, and then forget. So love means sacrifice. Love means pain. Love means discomforts.
I expected the answer because I know my reason, my purpose.
You ask the question, no, why he went through that? Because he had a higher purpose of life, to give the pleasure to the whole world. That's why he took that pain, to take away the pain of others.
So how can we strengthen that within ourselves? Because what I'm hearing is, and I believe it's true, that my love for others is weaker than my love for myself. So how can we change that?
That's why we have to purify our life, purify our consciousness, purify our intent. That's inside. It's a spiritual journey, is a journey within. What is my intent? Intent is to, in this world, intent is to exploit. But real intent should be to serve. Spiritual world is the world of service. And material world is the world of exploitation. Because he quoted Radha Maharaj, he gives another example. In this world, generally principle should be we should love people and use things. But in this world, we use people to love things. Right? So you have to change the paradigm of life. And how that will happen? How that will help? From divine association of great personalities. Life will change when we have saintly association, which is known as sadhu sangha. When we have association of elevated personalities, our intent will change. Okay.
One more question here.
Only one more or many more?
There's so many.
It was very nice talk, Prabhuji, but I just have one question regarding like ethnic cleansing of devotees. Ethnic like, devotees have been ethnically cleansed from Afghanistan, Kashmir, Bangladesh, and
It is being
West
recorded?
Bengal, West Bengal.
Recording?
By them only. So, like, so what should be devotees' role